Well, so Megan was like, yeah, we could do a video, but I'm away with my friend Ozzy today, so have fun recording with Garbo. And Garbo was like, yeah, I'll record with you, Jeeves. We'll record.
I'll come on and say the words. I'll do it. I'll do it for you.
Yeah, just for me. Anyway, look, we were choosing between
actually,
two
just so you know, there was a choice for a thread that I was in about Monster Girls, and James was like, "No, we can't. It's not enough to talk about. We can't go in there."
Okay, it was Lisa's ruined by fetishes, and what Lisa hasn't been ruined by them at this point. I think the only way to deal with it is to just pretend it doesn't exist. You know what I mean?
Well, the problem is that in this thread, I have like 50 posts in this fucking.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, I saw. There's a lot of Centaur posts that I can't really post on YouTube. You guys know how it is. You guys don't get it. So
like,
anyway,
who could be behind these Centaur posts? Like me behind a tree with my hands.
yeah, Garbu's hands posted these images. So instead, we're going to be going for as monsters are reflective of cultural anxieties, which I think is really true, because I think they're like the best example is witches. You know what I mean? Like, anytime there's like issues going on back in the day, whatever, it's like, who can we blame? The witches, you know what I mean? And like, I feel like that's another good one with zombies in this day and age. Like, I know it wasn't always
plague and diseases.
Yeah, well, it wasn't always like George Romero with like consumerism, but I mean, it's not far off it.
What was the one where the one where he's wearing the sunglasses and it shows him the truth? That fucking movie.
Oh yes, yeah. And they've got like sugar skulls. Almost.
Yeah.
It's kind of, I can't remember the name off the top of my head. I haven't watched it in a long time. I'm
gonna just Google. They Live. That's what it is.
Yeah, I'll need to.
Yeah. So that's like basically like the modern zombie, or like the one cryptid people always tend to lean on, actually fear, or are the cryptids or the monsters we can't actually see, like body snatchers or the lizard people. Like I think
that you know what it is. I was really looking into this, and one of the things with cryptids are so common in America, particularly, and they're not half as like, they do exist, but they're not as common, and one of the ones that I came across was it's to do with Americans being so individualistic, as a general trait, and I thought that was actually really interesting. And again, like, deep mistrust of governments and all that jazz, it works into the American psyche.
Thing,
yeah.
Like you guys will live in the same home for generations. Here, once you're 18, you are shotgunned out into the fucking world.
Yeah, that's absolutely. Yeah. Do you want to set yourself? Like, I've invested 18 years into like making sure this person can like survive in the world. Out the door you go. Deal with it yourself. It's like you kind of need a bit more than just that. You know what I mean? Well, it's like you're going to end up in a poverty trap, I think.
My favorite analogy that I made up, this is my analogy, goddammit, is the Europeans are the helpful granddad who hold on to their kid's arms and lifts them down to the pool, lets them kick, holds on to them. You kind of help the person go out. The American granddad picks him up by his fucking collar of his shirt and throws him into the pool and says either sink or swim. It's literally what they
I mean, sometimes you gotta do that, though, to a certain extent. Like, you kind of have to. Although there is one I always find interesting. Like, for the past 100 years, let's be serious, Europe has just failed to look after itself in any shape or form, and America just, like, anytime Europe shits itself, America has to come along and just wipe its bum for it. You know what I mean? It's actually, it's ridiculous, and it's been going on forever. Like, even just look at the Balkans in the 90s, America was like, no, you guys sort that out, and then the Germans are just standing by like, oh, we can peacefully talk this out. Meanwhile, mass genocide's going on. It's like, you guys,
let's just talk it out, bro.
It's actually, it's embarrassing. It's beyond a joke. But anyway, look, let's jump into this thread, or will we just end up keep talking among ourselves? Who knows? Yeah. Let's just use this thread as like a background, will we?
Aliens and cryptids exist now as an expression of society's mistrust towards government and its institutions. The belief that there's something else out there being hidden by men in shades and black suits. That knowledge and truth are being suppressed in the name of public good. Experiments and events gone wrong and covered up due to national security. There's less of a focus on monsters as things that can't be explained and more of a focus on things that aren't being explained. It makes sense as a society in the past 100 years has moved on from looking at magic sky wizard
Tips Fedora. Very enlightened. In this moment, I am euphoric.
Hold on. Okay, so it makes sense that a society in the past 100 years has moved on from looking at the magic sky wizard for answers and toward empirical evidence given by science for answers, tips Fedora. The answer to these questions is there, and with training and the right tools, you can get those answers, but someone is hiding the tools and the problem. Modern monsters are all about the anxiety of being unable to trust the government and world around you. It's why everything is hidden. Secret societies, secret cryptids, secret worlds. We're anxious because we're being lied to at every turn and bombarded by information that might be true or might be false, and there's no objectively truthful place to find an answer. There is no comfort.
That's really good, actually. Honestly,
it is. Yeah.
One of the ones I always find interesting was I always find up until until the world went mad, I suppose. I always thought a lot of one of my friends, he's wild into conspiracy theories. Like he buys into the most ridiculous ones ever, and he's so I feel like sometimes he's for instance, one of the big ones he buys into would be chemtrails. And I tried to explain to him, it's look, if the government wants to poison you, there's far better ways than chemtrails. For instance, put it in your water, put it in your food, put it in,
They're turning the frickin' frogs gay!
Yeah, well, but there is better way. If the government wants to poison you, there is other solutions to this. It doesn't have to be that, but I definitely do think
burning jet fuel.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? It's come on, man. You combustion engines and all that. They move wheels. You know what I mean? It's not that bad. But I definitely do think it's to do with mistrust of the government, and I do think it's the leading cause of a lot of modern day ones. And the thing is, there's a lot of good stuff to believe. There's a lot of stuff that's hold up here, guys. Are you going to explain yourself? We can neither confirm or deny.
I'm sure there are folks out there who have seen a human being and gone, they're not act like a human knows what a human being should act like. We know what they should act like. And there have been times where I've seen a dude doing stuff. Well, I'm like, he is not acting right. It's not that guy's on meth. No, it's a normal looking guy.
I don't know. I don't know. You can tell him someone methy from a mile away.
Yeah. But you're not acting like a human being should be acting, and it kind of triggers this weird flight or fight response. You're wait a minute, hold up, something ain't right, And the ones that fit, skinwalkers are fun and all that, but I do admit that the ones that always get me is when you see things that shouldn't operate the way they're shooting, and usually it's in people, and you kind of fall back on the they live kind of shit. You're am I just not seeing things? Is this some kind of fake glamour going on right now that I can't just see through? You
would say, in other words, Mark Zuckerberg is what you're leaning towards. Or, you know what, the most obvious one to me, it's so ridiculous, and anytime you try and talk to anyone about it, they kind of just look at you as if you're mad. It's am I living in a parallel universe? World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, the guy's literally wearing an evil wizard costume. You can't just walk around with a German accent and with an evil wizard costume and be yes, I am not a supervillain. It's what? No. That's, and anytime I try and bring it up to people, they always look at me as James, stop being ridiculous. World Economic Forum is that's just a business meeting, so it is and all that.
Monsters heavily missed between 1950 and 2000. So you think that the majority of the monsters in all science fiction, fantasy, and horror movies made it in that time frame weren't reflections of the fears and anxieties of their times, including Cold War, government control, and communism. Haven't you considered maybe it would be worth having at least an entry-level understanding of a given topic before you start making bold threats about it?
And the picture or the GIF is a link to Godzilla, which honestly, Godzilla is a perfect example. And maybe does that lead into the Japanese when it comes to mech suits? The whole idea of something so much bigger than what they are, something that is completely out of human control to a certain extent. Do you think, does that lean into it in any way, shape, or form? Or
I mean, for one, it's entertaining, and it's an analog of certain things that happen, like a big giant radioactive lizard. I mean, they were hit twice by a fucking atom bomb.
I've got it. Actually, I think I get it. This might sound ridiculous. So the idea of the warrior, the idea of the warrior really dies in World War One, where machines take over. But with mech suits, it brings the individual back into it. And I suppose you could do that with the Japanese with the Ronin or samurai or whatever. Maybe would that be a cultural influence with them?
I mean, more than likely, because the Japanese have always had a romantic view of the lone warrior. I mean, because like all the Ronin, like I used to be a big like black and white cowboy and a samurai movie buff. And most of the, not all, but most of the movies of like the Ronin samurai, the lone warrior fighting for for a village or a city. You know, they put a lot of impression on a singular warrior. It's not as different as Viking culture, where you have these lone warrior heroes. The same thing with Japanese culture. These lone samurai, these lone Ronin, these lone whatever who are holding back the tide or saving villages. I mean, they put a lot of emphasis on the solo warrior and all that. That is true.
One I came across the other, well, it wasn't the other day. It was actually a wee while back, and it said, Vikings are for millennials and pirates are for Gen X. And I can't help but tell that's true, though.
A pirate was about the crew. The pirate is a group.
But you can definitely tell someone's age. You can definitely tell someone's in a certain demographic. Gen Xers are always obsessed with pirates, and millennials way more into Vikings.
Well, I think it's more of a rule of cool kind of thing, and what's being like. Think of all like the Viking shows being pushed in the last 10 years. True. But I like the one, I've read a lot about zombies, and zombies, I believe, is the fear of something you can't control. So the biggest fear, the biggest monster is things we cannot control, and disease and bacteria are one of those things we simply cannot control. And zombies are scary because one bad move, one bite, and you're done. And that's terrifying for people, because when we get sick, we can go get medicine. We can go have the doctor fix our internal boo-boos, and we're fine. But with zombies, a single, like, you ever like look at the old shows, a single scratch, a single bite, and you're fucking toast.
I don't know.
So it makes...
I think there's a part of it. To me, with zombies, or at least the reason why I think they're so popular now, I think it's kind of like, think of, like, Fight Club almost, the monotonous office job, all that type of stuff. And I think people are just bored with their monotonous day-to-day lives. And I think the idea of, like, a zombie apocalypse happening makes their lives interesting and gives,
exciting.
Like, yeah, exactly. It's a lot of excitement, and I think that could possibly be, like, so as the modern world got so fucking dull that, oh my god, I can't wait for a zombie apocalypse. You know what I mean?
The thing is, like, if you're like a basic salary man, you're like, man, my life fucking blows, I got nothing going for me. If a zombie apocalypse happens and that salary man makes it out, he can be a hero. He has a whole new lease on life. Also, with zombie movies, you're not constrained by modern moral moralities. You can go and be a warlord, you can go be a hero, or you can be the lone wandering redneck Ronin with your cowboy hat and samurai sword. It kind of brings up this new life you can live, but built around the always looming danger of one bite and you're out.
Right, you slimy human maggots. We has been working hard at Neckbeardia to get the bestest little people that monies can buy. We got all the boys here. We got the boys, the lizard boys, vampire boys, all the boys over at Neckbeardia. Oh, we also got some pretty girls too. But I can't really make out which one's the boys and which one's the girls sometimes. But anyway, I need more monies to get more DACA, so get on over and order some now, you filthy pigs.
Every video that we post, we're going to be giving away all of our homebrew content to one lucky winner. Every video. All you have to do to be in with a chance to win is to be subscribed, leave a comment, and like this video. And today's lucky winner is this guy. Well done! Well done! To claim your prize, just send an email to neckbeardiacontact@gmail.com. Now let's get back to the video.
Gothic horror monsters, obviously. Frankenstein represents a fear of technology stepping on the toes of God and going too far. Which is also true of most zombie movies, like Resident Evil, you know?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Have you watched the new Resident Evil? I watched the first 2 episodes of it, and it was terrible.
The Netflix series.
Yeah.
World, Girls Are Better, Wesker's Black now. Yeah, I watched it.
You know what got me about it is I would much rather have just watched, like, the TV show that was set in the future instead of the one, like, set present, like, the bit that's present day. It was just like,
Well, we had a podcast last night about how more or less all these writers are fucking just brain dead idiots. So unless you like hire me or you or some actual like someone who has like a brain in our fucking cavity, we're not gonna get good movies anymore.
I don't know. I feel like part of that's to do with a lot of writers want their shows to go on for as long as humanly possible. And I think Sam Hyde actually had a good one, and he talked about it, and he said, I fucking love. Honestly, I think
in real life.
I think he's hilarious. But anyway, look, no, what I'm trying to get at is he said a lot of writers, they just want to throw shit at characters. Oh, they're gay. They've got one leg. They're fucking their cousin. You know what I mean? And it's just like how much
you're
shit.
Saying that, but last night Iron said it's about checking boxes now.
Yeah. Well, that too as well. But I think they just want to throw on like how much shit can we put on this character? You know what I mean? Without actually doing anything.
Well, when you think about it, they're basically making OC Donut Steels. They're making Shadow the Hedgehog as a character. Like, he's super edgy, but is also gay, but also likes women. It's like, what the fuck? So Dracula with vampires represents, by contrast, a fear of an old and decaying world order of aristocracy and mysticism. Notably, it's very feminist for its era, as while women are treated as dainty and helpless, Mina Harper is still brought on the team's hunt for the vampire and is constantly right throughout the book, with the male characters often dismissing their observations only for her to instantly be proven right. It also features a strong fear of female sexuality. Okay, and so
I think it does. Well, to be fair, like, what is that? I think, like, you know, when it comes to like women erotica books, the top. Like, there's, like, vampires, billionaires, pirates, and, like, you
Russians.
know, just, well, I think bad boys or whatever, you know what I mean? I think, like, they're the ones that dominate,
there's a danger to it.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I have run, like, and once in my life, I've run across a man-eater, and it was fucking terrifying, because these women who know how to play the game with men know how to work a man. And you're like, oh, fuck, you know everything. Like,
oh, God,
like,
no.
you meet him, you go, oh, fuck. And, like, I never wanted to run from a woman so fast in my life, but I met an actual living man-eater, and I was like, oh, she's gonna fucking just kill me, probably.
Yeah, it's girls that you know will just make your life fucking miserable. You know what I mean?
But they'll drag you in and keep you hooked. It's like basically, it's like having a shark on the end of your pole and you're trying to fish, and you realize the shark's kind of cute. You're like, oh fuck, you should cut the line, but you keep wanting to reel the fucking thing in, you know? I think part of why Lovecraftian style horror and monsters have taken off so much in modern times, aside from fear of the unknown always being relevant, is the inherent nihilism of it. I feel like feelings of ennui have become so common, especially in young people, that the idea of a horror theming around an infinite and uncaring cosmos has gained a certain resonance with people. The thought that you don't matter and the world is far beyond your control feels a lot more pertinent in a world where people often feel powerless and see bad shit in the news so often we become desensitized to it.
Yeah, pretty
There's
much.
yeah,
I couldn't give a fuck about half the shit in the news these days. It's like, oh no, more horrible things are going on.
I know, yeah.
Oh great, okay, whatever.
There's probably also a certain spiritual aspect to it. Atheism is a lot more common these days, but most people at least grew up with religious parents. The ones that didn't still live in a society heavily influenced by religion, and even the people who stay religious often have to confront certain aspects of their religion either they or others take issues with. All of that to say, it makes sense that stories and media about gods that don't care about you or may even be outright malviolent are that word, whatever,
yeah.
are popular right now. Yeehaw. Doesn't help that biblically accurate angels are the new fun fact that everyone already knows about.
Yeah.
So basically, like the cosmic horror things where, like, do you really want to meet God? And it's why, like, my religion, we're technically a sect, and we understand the ever-present nature of just humanity and nature. Like, you're going to get cancer, but that's no one's fault. That's just how the dice come sometime. Like, one of the mottos of my religion is basically the way the dice falls is the way the dice falls. There's no way to fight against you getting the cold or getting cancer or getting hit by a fucking car. Shit just happens. But it's one of those things where, like, Christian religions, you know, there's a lot of blame going around for things happening, or like why, or like there's one like, why would God do this?
Yeah.
And all the religions are all different in that respect.
Well,
but the fact that saying the notion that these gods could be these giant Lovecraftian horrors that don't even actually care about you, it may even actually hate you. Kind of, I can see how it would resonate with like the flame shirt fedora atheist. Like, yes, this definitely fits.
Well, so there's a few things, like, for instance, I feel like there's a lot of people out there that like, whether you believe religion or not, I think there's a lot of people that should because they need it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people that go wacky if they don't have it.
Well, that's because religions are a moral code.
Yeah. Well,
mostly.
not just that. I think humans, by definition, we're evolved to need something higher than us. I feel like a lot of humans just end up going absolutely fucking schizo, or completely go mental, or they buy into like the world's worst isms.
Well, yeah. Because there's an unknown to life. Yeah. Why am I here? Who made me? I mean, we will watch bacteria grow in petri dishes, but we are so advanced and like mentally, we begin to wonder, well, is there something more to me? Like, it's why people fear death, because they don't only fear death because I want to die, but they don't know what's coming. They have hope that they're going to go to heaven or Nevaeh or wherever else you're going to go, the great world tree of the leaves, but there's this fear that, oh God, maybe I'm just bacteria, and when it goes black, it's going to stay black. The most horrifying thing of all the horror monsters is the unknown. It's why I don't go in the fucking ocean, because I can't see down to the bottom.
Yeah, Megan's like that. Megan's fucking terrified of deep water, like absolutely comically terrified of it.
But like say, I've seen people die, and there's something about look in their eyes when they realize, oh fuck, I'm going to find out. Yeah, because it's terrifying not to know. But it's doubly terrifying to realize I'm going to find out, oh, fuck, and I can't tell anybody. And it's this weird feeling because they're going to cross the barrier that you can't, like, in the woods, you can follow your friends, you can follow your campmates. Here, in a hospital room, you can't follow them. Yeah. And it fills you with fear because you realize that they're going to learn something you can't. They're going to study the unknown for the barest milliseconds, and they'll know, but you'll never know. It's a flip on the horror trope of my buddy saw and got killed by the monster, but I still don't know what the monster looks like.
Yeah. Well, there was a good... This here, I suppose, leads into... I've been reading a lot about human evolution recently, like, as much as I possibly can get. And one of the things that I think like defines humans, like, a lot of people like, oh, walking upright, intelligence, all that type of stuff. And I suppose... Taxes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're just a stupid monkey. It's like, I don't have to pay tax. It's like, shit, got me there. No, but the one I find the most interesting is our ability to see into the future, ability to plan, abilities to plan ahead and predict the future and being able to prepare for the future. And again, that leads into our anxieties and worries and pretty much all the problems we've got. Like, I can't... It's like, you just don't need to care about the future, sure. Like, deal with that when it comes. But again, you can't help it.
Like there are some like me who can deal with the reality every day and not care. And then there are some who have to make a list for everything. That's two sides of humanity. We got one more good post here. Well, the resurgence of skinwalkers is interesting because it's sort of an amalgam. Fear of others being dangerous or even inhuman. Fear of being replaced or impersonated, and fear of nature and the boundaries of civilization. Yeah, government and corporations both are a source of many modern fears, rightly so. But they embody those fears themselves rather than having to have a monster as a physical representative. Which is why I think there aren't too many new urban legends monsters cropping up. We can already point to the source of the fear, if not nameless at all. Glowies would actually be a fun direction to take for a monster.
Well, is that not G-Man? Is that not G-Man from Half-Life series, I suppose?
Yeah. Well, G-Man is like the biggest glowy of them all. Yeah. It just shows up. But fear of entrapment, fear of others impersonating or faking their identities, a partial fear of isolation or being alone in your beliefs. Another might be a monster that erases your presence but leaves you alive. Like being, that's a good one. Like being banned or blocked in real life. So like someone who erases who you are and removes you from the equation.
You just wait for the meta to take off and you will be banned, IRL. Like there was a brilliant Black Mirror episode, and I think it was like everyone had some. I can't remember. This was years ago. I haven't watched Black Mirror in ages. I need to go back and rewatch it. Everyone had these like sunglasses on, and someone got like banned, or their account got hacked, and then they became like invisible to everyone around them. Almost. It was kind of, yeah. It was pretty good. So it was.
So let's see here. One thing I see constantly in modern spooky stories is things existing on the edge of a civilization that go unacknowledged or unexplained. That's obviously been a thing since civilization stopped at the edge of the firelight, but these often take a very violent and predatory feel. They encroach very close to, but not quite into, our space. Subway tunnels and abandoned buildings, things that just pluck strangers away without fanfare or drama. With people feeling more and more isolated even in their own communities, and the protection of neighbors is losing its power, these new things can stalk you right up to your home, look in your windows, knock on your door, at least at night. We have fewer names and faces for our monsters, but many of them are very similar in idea to our oldest ones.
Yeah, pretty much, honestly. Like, you know, our fear is relatively the same. It's just it's
evolved.
changed. Yeah, it's evolved, really. Like, you know, I don't know. This is one thing. This is why I really do love a lot of like monsters, and I find them really interesting because they are representations. And this is another one that I feel like comes into like world building when it comes to like creating leases and stuff. And this is why I'm really. I feel like there's so many leases that are put out there that are just pointless. Like, for instance, let's just have an animal lease and just but they're walk like humans. You know what I mean? But you haven't really put anything else into them. And I feel like that's the same thing with monsters almost. I feel like them representing something is a better way of going about it, if that makes any weird sense. You know?
Yeah,
I do
elves
agree elves being like Atlantis, or you know what I mean, that type of thing, like a fallen civilization, you know?
But I do agree when you said that the biggest monster you ever fear is one that erases you. Like, your personality, the thing that makes you you is yourself. Now imagine a monster that just rips that away from you. Like, it doesn't kill you, but it still kills you. Like,
like, you know what would be a good one? Like Dementors. That is actually a great one.
Like Dementors, yeah. That turn into a husk. I mean, it's a very basic thing where it feeds on your happiness. It's so edgy. But a monster that feeds upon your soul or who you are would be honestly quite terrifying. Where you don't actually die, but you do die. Your body's left behind as a shivering mass of meat and blood, but the thing that made you you is gone, and this monster has fed upon it, consumed it, and you're never coming back.
Yeah. I don't know. For me personally, I think the best monsters are unironically evil cultists.
Sexy ones, I agree.
Well, sexy ones too, yes. The ones with only the fattest of titties are allowed, and you know, the thickest of thighs. But unironically, I would go with cultists, like, you know, because they are human. And like, you know, I suppose for me, it's about, like, you know, what are they trying to do? Even if the god isn't real, it doesn't matter because they believe it to be so. Do you know what I mean? I don't know why, but I always love cultists, and I think they're a great villain to throw at anything.
Well, cultists are a driven villain, so the fear doesn't come from the people. The fear is their zeal. The fact that they will do horrifying things out of loyalty to something.
Well, I got it for you then. So, some of you guys know I've been working on this World War I game for a wee bit last week or so, and of course, like, you know, well, the evil god needs some form of cultists. Who could I use? Well, people that are downtrodden, people that are, like, you know, easily manipulated. Communists. Yeah, unironically, communists are the default evil cultists in this World War I setting. Which I think works quite nicely.
People, only communists.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, like, that's where we're gonna wrap up, guys. Why are you not subscribed to Garbu's channel? Why? You know what makes him really sad?
I fight for my life over here.
Like, you know, it makes him really sad that, like, you know, you watch the video, but then you never go in and check his stuff out. So go ahead, check his stuff out. Check out his books.
Well, we did break 1,200 subscribers finally. It was pretty nice. That's pretty nice. So basically, guys listening, I'm currently fighting YouTube because I got trapped into the "you're alt-right" fucking button during Corona. So basically, my stuff gets suppressed hardcore. Even on the new channel, folks getting fucking unsubscribed. They're not getting alerts. So it's a constant fucking uphill battle.
Yeah,
that Neckbeardia knows quite well.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that's. It feels like, see, particularly the last 2-3 years, it feels like they've just flipped a switch, and it's like, are you Jimmy Kimmel? No, get the fuck out. You know what I mean? But what, like, it's YouTube. Like, you know, there's no, like, you just kind of have to...
Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, you kind of have to...
Ride your dick till it's raw.
Yeah, you just kind of have to do weird... Like, you know, a lot of people ask me, it's like, why do you do the stuff you do? It's like, because we've got to. You know what I mean? We don't have an option. Like, you know, it's...
And now... And just by the way, for all the bad news out there, the Battleship Texas is in dry dock, being repaired for $35 million. Let's go. The fucking last American dreadnought is getting repaired. Fuck yeah, boys.
The last ship from World War One is actually in Belfast, so it is still. It's been there for ages. It's more like a museum that you can go onto. It's pretty cool. So it is. It's a small battleship though. Like it's not big. Like if I be honest with you, but it's still cool that it's the last one. Yeah,
I'm just glad they pulled the USS Texas from the mud where we're sitting and actually repairing the hull, because I have definitely not broken into the USS Texas on accident and roamed around it. It's fucking depths.
There's something about battleships though. It's like, why the fuck are they so cool? Like, you know, and the thing is,
they're so dope, dude.
Yeah, but the thing is with battleships that gets me is how useful are they actually going to be? Like, I've got this little fear that battleships are going to be completely and utterly useless when it comes to like modern aircraft. You know what I mean? Like, are they going to be able to hold up? Like, even World War II, like, you know, battleships pretty much useless against majority of
aircraft
airplanes.
Carriers.
You know what I mean? So, and again, aircraft carriers, are they still going to be useful? Like, planes are able to fly a lot further now. You know, do you even need to have that there? Like, you know, they've gotten a lot better at... Like, that's a different video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Check out Garpy's channel. You know, you guys know what's going on. We'll talk to you later.
I trapped him, Jack. You saw it. Yeah, I can hear your gins go. If I fucking heard your gears going.
Yeah.
All those moments we lost in time.